What's up, everyone? Welcome back. It's Wednesday night Mythic Conversations. We're right on time tonight, not like the drama of last week. And I'm happy we're on time because we've got some fun stuff to cover tonight. It is, of course, the spookiest time of the year. It is October. It is time to head back to the graveyard. And we're going to do that tonight. And to help me do that, to join us on this journey to the graveyard, is once again the co-host of Mythic Conversations, Eric Treadaway.
What's up?
How you doing tonight, Eric?
I'm doing well.
So
ready to go.
Before we get started, we're going to just tell everybody right out of the gate, this is the last time you are going to be on Mythic Conversations, that we're going to be together on this show until G-Con. Not that G-Con is Mythic Conversations, but this is the final stop of this like run of incredible appearances you've had that we've been revealing all this amazing stuff.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's not that long before that G-Con happened, so it's not gonna feel like a big span of time there.
It's funny because Matt Stein, longtime friend of the studio, he reached out to me when we teased this graveyard stuff on Monday, and he said, I'm looking forward to Wednesday for you and Eric getting more of my money. And I said to him, well, tell you what, I promise this is the last one until G-Con. And he replied and said, so you mean a month from now? Like, this is the last time you're going to ask for my money until a month from now. And I was like, yeah, pretty much. That's good. It's what we do. We're a toy company. We make toys. That's what we're here for.
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of cool stuff happening. We just ended the Legacies of Mythos pre-order. That's going on at retailers right now. Obviously, we're just talking about Legions Con and G-Con. That's coming up. We just announced that we're down to under 100 two-day advance passes that we've got available for Legions Con. That is, just over a month from now, or just about a month from now. So crazy stuff is going on. But tonight, we're here to talk about something different. We're here to talk about the graveyard. And I'm going to bring this up. It was about this time last year, Eric, that we were here talking about this type of stuff. And we revealed something, or, launched something called Graveyard Skeletons. And, this was a lot of fun. This was, like so many things with Four Horsemen Studios, we decided to do this one-off project, these 4-pack of skeletons, which, if we rewind, I can't believe it's only been a year, but this happened shortly after we dropped the Skeleton Legion Builder 2, that single skeleton figure that was so popular. It sold out so quickly that we said, well, how can we get more skeletons out? And we came up with this idea for the Graveyard Skeletons, this 4-pack of figures. And like usually happens at Four Horsemen Studios, what was intended as a one-off became something we had so much fun with that we immediately started thinking about, well, what else can we do? How else can we do kind of stuff? And Graveyard, I think, is a lot of fun because while all of our lines are fun, they're toys, there's a seriousness to the Legion's lines, or even Figura Obscura, with how respectful we are of the subject matter. I know you're a huge fan of Halloween. I am as well. Many in the studio are. The Graveyard kind of allowed us to have a little fun with these. And you look at this photo of the skeletons, these are definitely fun toys, and we're not taking ourselves too seriously with these. We want to make awesome toys, but we want them to be fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, that's what I think you nailed it there, saying both Figura and the Legions lines, um, although they are a lot of fun to play with and collect and all that. Um, the attention to detail and story and everything is told from a very serious standpoint. Particularly Figura, we're really being we're so diving into the research so heavily, and those aren't they're not our character. It's something that was created elsewhere, thought of elsewhere. So you got to treat that with a certain amount of respect. Whereas as you can see here in this photo and some of the things we did with this, it's definitely not taking ourselves too seriously. I mean, it's a skeleton wearing a skeleton mask.
Yeah.
Even just the pumpkin headed skeleton, they're just like, they're cool, just Halloween themed figures and I mean, decorations probably for a lot of people.
For sure. And I mean, obviously they're built on the Mythic Legion skeletons. This is kind of what the 4-pack came with. So we did give them weapons. So they certainly allowed you to accessorize them and display them with your Mythic Legions collection, or do something similar to what we just showed, that Trevor did with that fun kind of in the graveyard pose. So this is the set that was available that we put up for pre-order last year. One of the great things about this is because these were all parts that we had available in the library, we were able to turn these around quickly. The pre-order ended at midnight on Halloween last year. These were shipping early in the year. I can't remember exactly when they shipped, but I know that we sold the 4-packs at Toylanta, and Toylanta was at the end of March. So all of the pre-orders, all of the retailer stuff had shipped before the end of March, which means these arrived in Q1. But we did have a surprise in that package, Eric. When people opened up that 4-pack, there was a product catalog in there. And, it allowed people to see like some of the stuff that was upcoming. Bayathere was in there. And then if they, flipped all the way to the back, they got to this page that said, "You are invited back to the graveyard, October 2025. So we, at this point, as we were putting together this packaging and this product catalog, we knew we wanted to revisit this theme. We knew this was something that would be a lot of fun. We wanted to invite people back. And, of course, we just dropped these again. It says right here, they're back. This Monday, we put some of the 4-packs, the limited inventory we had in stock. We put that back up at Store Horseman. They sold out within 24 hours, which was amazing. But ultimately, Eric, this is not what we were talking about. When we said that you're invited back to the graveyard, we weren't talking about, selling these 4-packs again. We were talking about something else. So I think that's enough preamble. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to jump back into the graveyard. I'm ready to show all these wonderful people what kind of spooks we got planned out for this year. How about you?
Absolutely. Let's do it. We've been sitting on this for too long now.
We have. So right after we did the pre-order for this last year and we started talking about, what else we could do, you and George immediately started talking about some possibilities. And the idea that you guys got excited for right out of the gate was graveyard zombies.
Yeah, it was very, very, very quick and very unanimous. Sometimes it's just as clear as day, and this was one of them.
Yeah, this was fun. Now, we should acknowledge that we've done zombie figures before. Like, we've got zombies in the Mythic Legions line. In the Necronominous wave, we have a set called the Undead Builder Pack that allows you to put together a zombie. But we're doing something a little different. This is the first time that we've done this type of a figure, and I'm pretty excited for the possibilities here. So let's get right into it. And we're going to start right out of the gate with one of Trevor Williams' wonderful photos. This is what we're looking at for Graveyard Zombies. And as you can see, this is a very modern take on a zombie. Tell us a little bit about the decision to, not do a fantasy zombie like we've done in Mythic Legions, but to actually do something that's more rooted in, I guess, our world and kind of the zombie movies and stories we see around this time of year.
I mean, that is exactly it. That's what the immediate appeal was of this. It's in this speaks, and we'll talk more about this as we move through the discussion tonight. But it's in big picture wise, this is a big part of what the appeal of this graveyard line is. A flannel shirt and jeans isn't going to find its way into anything else that we do. And so this opens up the door to doing monsters and Halloween themed characters in a way that we can't do otherwise, but we want to do.
Yeah.
It's there's an appeal to it. We especially we have zombie parts built into the line, and I love it when we can use something that we've used in the line that we've put the time into and the love into, and then use that to create something completely new with it. And this look here is very much, I think, what a lot of people immediately think of when they think zombie. It is more that modern zombie, shredded clothes, the pale corpse-like skin.
It's dirty.
It's torn
up.
I mean, this is we were very excited about this, and I'm really happy with the way it all came together. I mean, CJ knocked it out of the park on these soft goods. I mean, this is a heavy soft good figure here.
Yep.
It really, that's what's making the transformation here. It's we don't have the parts to do this sculpting wise. So the soft goods just serve it so well. And I mean, you can see from Trevor's photo there, you've got the full range of posability and the ability to hit those zombie, those classic zombie type poses.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking at the chat right now, I mean, as expected, this caught some people by surprise in a very good way. Like we saw a bunch of people suggesting we were going to do zombies, but when we decided to do that modern take, that was what we thought was really going to surprise people. And sure enough, that's what people are responding to in a positive way, that this caught them by surprise. CJ did a wonderful job with these soft goods here. You get that classic zombie look, and I love the quality of how these all laid out. I got to see these when I was at the studio a couple weeks ago, and seeing them all kitted out with the outfit is really, really special. But one of the great things about the soft goods is it allows a lot of different display options as well, because clearly all of the soft goods are removable. So we've got a photo here, and this shows what it looks like, because it does come with those booted feet, but we're going to include the bare feet as well. And this shows an alternate head. This takes the flannel shirt off. So you get a very different look of the character right here just by making those couple of changes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, when I first saw this shot, I was surprised by it. Just because I know the parts, but I hadn't seen it in this build until I saw the photo. And yeah, it's great. It's got a really different energy to it than the other one. Yeah, so I that the soft goods give us that versatility.
For sure.
That, it goes a long way. But so this is cool. Like two completely different looks.
Totally.
Yeah, that's it. Love it.
So two different heads. We're actually going to include a third head with it as well. And you can take off all of the soft goods, and we're going to include those waist wraps that came originally with the Red Death. And this is something, if you want this figure to fit into your Mythic collection, this is, I think, the look you're going for. This bear zombie body is something that's been heavily requested by the community. Previously, we mentioned that Undead Builder pack in the Necro Wave that didn't have the torso and the lower legs and lower arms. This is the body that debuted on the Red Death, but being a figure obscure and having all the soft goods and everything, the dio pieces, that was a little bit more of an expensive figure. So this, in addition to that modern look, is going to give people the option, if they want to get extras, to get access to this zombie body. And seeing it painted the way that we see here, this is a project that Eric Miller worked on for us, did a great job of really capturing kind of the grossness of that body, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice because, like you mentioned, we've used a lot of these parts on the Undead Builder pack, and then a very different application paint wise on the Red Death figure. So, seeing some of these parts, for a third time on a zombie type figure, I mean, it brings new life to it and a brand new look. And to your point, I think something that a lot of people have been wanting to see in the line. One thing I do like about this is, we're talking about how, we have that modern aesthetic to the clothed zombie, which wouldn't fit in Mythic, but this could fit in figure, or this could fit in Mythic. And honestly, I've seen some absolutely amazing customs where people are using some of these parts on cosmic figures. So this could well go towards some more cosmic customs,
without a doubt. Yeah, especially right now with Ox Crew Wave 1 having just shipped, the amount of cosmic customs that we're seeing is off the charts. It's absolutely amazing to see people really getting inspired creatively with that line.
For sure. Yeah.
So we've got more to talk about. We're going to talk about the availability and all that stuff. Little bit of a close-up here that allows us to see the 3 different head sculptures. And because these are closer in now, we also get a chance to see more of the paints and the colors and everything like that. I'm going to bring this down for a second because, Eric, I believe you actually have one there, don't you?
Yes.
I want to let you hold it up as well.
I mean, it's a little dark in here, so the lighting is not.
Yeah,
but
it's such a fun figure. Just playing around with it, it's one of those figures that it's clearly a Legion's figure, but it's got such a different fun feel to it because of those soft goods.
Yeah, I mean, it's got it's just it really feels like it's from another line almost. It's got a little bit of a Mezco feel to it. It's got a little bit of like NECA does those 8-inch kind of like really high-end takes on like the Mego format. It's got very similar quality to those types of lines. It feels like something new.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Which is cool. It's exciting.
It is something new. So this is the full loadout that you're going to get with this zombie, which, by the way, we call this worker zombies. Got a little bit of a construction feel going on. He's got bolt cutters. He's got a circular saw. Clearly this, like the last year's graveyard, this uses parts that were in our library that we could repurpose in a different way. So we'll be able to get this into fans' hands quicker than what a product or a wave that has a lot of tooling in it, new tooling in it, would require. So, looking in our, library of parts, we found a couple of these tools that are actually both from the Cosmic Legions line, but which had enough of a real world feel that I think they work really well with this particular figure.
I think so. Absolutely.
And then, of course, we've got this amazing shot from Trevor. If we want to see how that circular saw looks when this guy's wielding it, I mean, that's
a wild shot.
It's such a wild shot.
That's just where things start to really lose control and go bananas.
Well, I also love the fact that he used the same color palette and scenery as last year's graveyard skeletons. Even, at the time, we didn't tell him, hey, plan for the future with this. We're going to make this a series. But I'd like to think that Trevor's worked with us long enough that he realizes we can't just do it once. We always have to revisit it because we're having so much fun and we've got to have more fun. So he was ready to go to kind of start shooting a series of these with our graveyard zombies.
Yeah, very cool. Looks great.
So now with this figure, we've got the 3 different looks. You've got 3 different heads. You've got a variety of ways that you can put the soft goods either on or take them all off. So you can kind of start to build your zombie horde. If you notice here, it says graveyard zombies. It's pluralized. And that's clearly because you can get this one figure and make a lot of zombies. Well, that's what we were thinking at first. But then we made this worker zombie. And I'm going to be honest, he was lonely. He looked so sad just there, looking by himself. So we needed to give him a friend. We couldn't have him go, climb out of the graveyard by himself. So in addition to the worker zombie, the second figure that's going to be available from Graveyard Zombies is what we call the rocker zombie. And this, just like we did a male for the first one, this we get a female zombie here. Once again, with some familiar parts, but presented in a very, very different way. Tell us a little bit about this fine lady, the rocker zombie.
Yeah, a lot of the same, idea here and concept of, taking, some familiar parts and putting, in this case, I feel like almost very modern spin on it. This was just the theme that immediately came to mind for the female zombie. And we had some fun with this one. Yeah. She's got the full rocker ensemble on here with the plaid skirt, the studded leather belt, the shredded leggings, and kind of the rock and roll rock show t-shirt on underneath.
We'll get to her t-shirt in just a few minutes, Eric.
But we were able to have some fun here with the color too. That was zombies are generally kind of washed out color wise, and so since we had this this punk rock theme going with it, we had the opportunity to give her this bright pinkish purple hair, which against her undead greenish skin really contrast nicely with it. They contrast, but also complement each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, she was a fun one to put together because the worker zombie came together so easily because we had a zombie body, right? So it was like, okay, we've got the full zombie body. We knew we wanted to do that plaid shirt type of look. When it came to the female, we had this head that worked really, really well, but we had to figure out what are we going to use for a body? How are we going to dress it up and everything? And we didn't just want to like paint her legs so it looked like she was just wearing leggings, like we were faking it essentially. The idea to actually do the real soft goods leggings and tear them up and weather them up in the skirt, it really kind of brought this all together, I think, in a really good way and made her a very cool complement for the worker zombie.
I think so. She's not as decayed and,
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Oh.
God, how annoying is that? But in my mind, she's fresher dead at the, at this point. She's not as decayed, which actually ended up working well because, again, it gives a nice bit of contrast between the two characters. Like they go well together, but they're different enough.
So this is the loadout we're going to get for her. So she does come with a second head. We gave her the kind of somewhat decayed head from the Ghost of Christmas Past. Those are two different sets of hair. So you got both sets of hair. We did give her a skeleton lower arm. So you can either have her like wield that as like a club, or you could literally pop it in her lower arm and, add to the amount of decay she has and give her a skeletal lower arm. She's got the couple sets of hands, and all figures should be coming with rats these days. So she gets 2 additional rats. I mean, between Ganesha, the Legion's Con figures, and now this one, you're going to have yourself a nice little pack of vermin.
I never would have thought that little piece would have gotten so much mileage, but here we are.
Well, we've had people ask us for like a pack of like rats, and we're like, we're going to give them to you, just not all together. We're just going to spread them out across every release for the next year, apparently. And we love the rats.
It's funny because I thought I knew where those would probably get used next, and they've been used like 3 times before that. So they'll be old news by the time we get around to where I thought they might have shown up.
And we painted 1 gold for one of the golden gags inside of this year's Legion's Armory experience. Yeah, absolutely. So looking at her face here, a little close up, just like we did for the worker zombie, you get the 2 different portraits for the rocker zombie. So you can switch those up, to display it the way that you see fit. Additionally, Eric, you mentioned that she's wearing a rock t-shirt. And if anyone noticed the gear that we have on tonight, or the gear they were wearing during the afternoon show, this may look very familiar because we wanted to give her a kind of rock t-shirt. And we said, well, what should we put on it? And the idea to create kind of like a death metal 4 Horsemen logo just felt like a really fun little thing that we could do there. So that's what we did. We actually reached out to our good friend, David Williams, and David Williams designed this 4 Horsemen death metal logo for us. So the fact that we were able to put that on her shirt, I think is a really fun little, almost like Easter egg type piece of this action figure.
Yeah, no, I like that, kind of full circle aspect to it. You can buy the figure, you can buy the shirt, I don't know. It's fun. I like, it's always fun when it goes beyond the toy itself and gets into the, the real world a bit. So yeah, I love the way it came out. It's a cool looking design. It's a great shirt. This is one of those ones, even if you don't know what any of the lines are, Four Horsemen is just a good looking design, good looking shirt. I think it's eye catching.
So you mentioned you can buy the shirt. You absolutely can buy the shirt that we are so expertly modeling on tonight's broadcast. This shirt will be available actually in about an hour. At 9:00 tonight, this is going to be available at Retro Rags, on retroraglimited.com. Also at Store Horseman, if you click the apparel tab at the top, that just brings up the inventory for Retro Rags. This is going to be available from them, so you can get your official Four Horsemen death metal graveyard shirt with art by David Williams. Love that little tie-in there.
Yeah, no, it's great.
One more picture of the rocker zombie. She's absolutely ready to rock. We've got the worker zombie. We've got the rocker zombie. This is what they look like. Now, let's talk a little bit about availability. This is going to be a pre-order. However, this is not a 2-pack. So these are not available together. These are going to be available separately. We know that as much as people like the multi-packs, the single packs provide a little bit more flexibility when it comes to purchasing, especially with something like this where you may want extras of one and not the other to build out the zombie horde the way that you may want to build it out.
Yeah, it's I mean, especially with the multiple heads and the multiple clothing options and all that. Yeah, like it really allows people to custom, custom build their display. So it was absolutely the right call for this release. Now
these are premium figures. They come with all the soft goods on them. Soft goods add a lot of cost to the figures. What we're going to do for these is we are going to offer them as a pre-order. And we are going to offer them at the pre-order discount. We're going to price them as what we call standard figures. So these are going to be available from storehorseman.com for $42 each. So that is the discounted price, similar to what we've done for previous standard figures. This is something we really kind of pushed on, working with the factory to make sure that we could get the pricing where we wanted, so we could keep this at this particular price point, even with all of those additional soft goods on it. The pre-order is going to start actually this Friday. So on October 10th of 2025 at 10 a.m. Eastern, that is when the pre-order is going to go live, and it's going to end at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time on Halloween night. Now, the one thing we will do different on this one, Eric, is normally we do a pre-order at Store Horseman, and then once that pre-order period's done, they're offered through our retailers for standard pricing. Someone's asking, is there a pre-order limit? Absolutely not. That's one of the great things about a pre-order, is because we're going to make them based on the pre-order numbers. We're not going to limit how many you can buy. You can buy as many as you want. That is the advantage of the pre-order model. But as I was saying, we wanted to get all of this in during this Halloween season. So instead of us doing a pre-order and then the retailers following, the retailers are going to be running a pre-order for this at the same time that we are. They will be charging the standard retail price on these, which is $55 each. So instead of buying it either from us early or get it up from retailers later, we're just taking the pre-order period and moving it together. If you buy it from Store Horseman, you get that early pre-order discount, but you do pay up front at the time of order, $42 each. If you would prefer to buy it from one of our worldwide network of retailers, they will have them for $55. The only caveat I will give you is if you do decide that you're going to go through a retailer, you're going to want to contact them just to make sure they plan to carry this. One of the things we have a worldwide audience, Eric. We have a worldwide family of retailers. These figures are very kind of American in their horror Halloween type thing. Like these are the type of figures that we know are going to do really well over here, but we have certain territories that we sell to where this type of character is not as popular as it may be here. So keep that in mind. If you are not going to get it direct from us, just talk to the retailer that you normally go to make sure they are going to carry these.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. You never want someone to say, well, I didn't buy it from you because I was going to buy it elsewhere. And then that retailer, I say all this, I expect most retailers are going to carry these. Look at them. They're pretty darn cool. But yeah, $42 each for these. But Eric, we're not done yet. We've got more zombie goodness to show people. Because in addition to these two figures, another thing that we thought about is, you know what? How can we make it so you can outfit these even differently and really customize your zombie horde? And something that we haven't done in like ever, we've had people request it, but we've never done it, is soft good packs. So in addition to the zombies that come with the full set of soft goods, we're also going to offer what we call graveyard gear soft goods packs. So there's going to be an additional set of these soft goods. Now, the figure is sold separately. This is for the plaid shirt in red, a black version of the t-shirt, and those pants in brown. So if you buy this pack, you're able to outfit your zombies even a little more differently, giving you more options that you can use to outfit these characters.
Yeah, I think this is a great spot to try this concept. I like the idea of it, especially, I don't know, some people like their perfect zombie may be a red shirted zombie instead of a green shirted zombie. Who knows? But again, I like this idea of this kind of more a la carte sort of ability to purchase. I think we've done a couple of accessory packs now, and people seem to have really enjoyed that, where they can go beyond what was in the line of figures and take that and mix and match and do approach it a little differently. They've been able to approach it, and I think this is the same. This is an extension of that idea. You really can, again, custom build your zombie further with this. So I think it's, I don't think this is going to be something that everybody's going to go for, but I think the people who do go for this are really going to enjoy it.
Yeah. And even just having, an extra set of these soft goods, it allows you to mix and match the pants or the shirts to get some different looks, like you said, for whatever your preferred look for, your particular zombie is. So they'll be available separately. There is also a Graveyard Gear soft goods pack for the rocker zombie. She'll come with a blue plaid skirt instead of red. She's got green leggings, and then we're going to do that rock shirt she's wearing in orange. So for this one, we went with much more Halloween-y type colors for what she's going to get as a variation.
Yep, absolutely. And I like that in particular here, because kind of going back to that point of what Graveyard is all about and what it allows us to do. Thinking back to the early concept for Figura Obscura, and we first started talking about it, the first couple were very much, Halloween, or not Halloween specific, but holiday specific. And Figura really took on a life of its own rather than just a random holiday figure here and there. And in this line, beyond the fact that, we can go modern, it also just allows us to do something that is, she would look good in Halloween colors. Let's do Halloween colors. There's just a lot of freedom to this. So
for sure.
I enjoy seeing this kind of thing because it is just more straight up Halloween, celebration of the holiday.
Josh is in the chat asking if this does well, would the Horsemen consider doing more outfit packs in the future? And, you just said this is a great spot to kind of try this out and offer this. Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that we've proven over the years, even with this particular offering going with these modern zombies, is we're willing to try new things. We're willing to put different things out there, not only because we enjoy doing it and we want it for our shelves, but to see what resonates with the fans. So if this is something that sales and the fans tell us they really like, absolutely. I think we'd be open to other, soft goods packs of different kinds in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause these are again, heavily dressed, like I said before, this is more in line with, a bit of like a Mezco or a 8-inch retro style figure or something like that. But if this is well received, the same sort of concept could apply to something as simple as a cape or a tunic or something like that.
Yep.
That, it's not a full-on dressing of the figure, but it's just another accessory that you can buy separately from the figure. Absolutely.
So the Graveyard Gear soft good packs, those are also going to be available directly from Store Horseman. Those are going to be $20 each. That's the discounted pre-order price. Same pre-order period. These will be available from retailers. They'll be $25 from retailers. So $42 for the zombie figure or the zombie figures. They're each $42 through us with the full soft goods. If you want an additional set of soft goods, they'll be $20 each. And of course, you could put these soft goods on other Mythic Legions figures as well. Your other zombie pieces that you have, we mentioned that Mythic one or the Red Death. You could certainly dress the Red Death up in a red flannel shirt if you should choose.
Why not?
Why not? I did see a question here. It's a good one. Kilroy is saying, is the rocker zombie a Ghost of Christmas Past beer body underneath the soft goods? It absolutely is. That particular figure was sculpted almost to have it. I hate to call it underwear, but because that figure was another one that was so heavily driven by the soft goods, we had to put something on her. So she does have kind of that waist piece that covers, the gap that would normally be there where the waist armor would fill. That and, her upper, basically what would be her bra, those are painted black. So there is a bare body underneath the rocker zombie soft goods. So there we go, Eric. We've got the rocker zombie. We've got the worker zombie. The pre-order for this goes live on Friday, the 10th. It goes all the way through until midnight on Halloween. But that's kind of what we have to show for the zombies. But we've got 45 minutes left, so we do have to fill the time. When we kicked off the teaser this Monday, this is the teaser that we shared. It's time to return to the graveyard, and it gave the dates. There are 4 different colored windows there, and a lot of people were questioning what those were for. We've now presented the zombies. Those colors don't really match the zombies in any way, so it would make one wonder, why would we do this teaser? Thankfully, Eric, we have 45 minutes left that I think we can show everybody a little bit more that's coming out of the graveyard this year. What do you think?
I think we can do that.
I think
we can fit it in.
So in addition to the graveyard zombies that are going to be available both through Four Horsemen Studios and through our retailers, we didn't want to leave the skeletons out because we did the zombies. We were so excited for that. And then the skeletons came knocking on those gravestones and they said, hey, what about us? Are you not going to invite us to the party this year? And we said to the skeletons, well, we invited you last year. Do we really need to bring you again? And they would not take no for an answer. They said, we're going to come back to the party, but we want to get a little more colorful this year. So we said, you know what? Let's bring you back. Let's do something really fun. We're going to do a new set of graveyard skeletons, but instead of doing a 4-pack, we're going to do blind boxes. So we've got these 4 really fun colors of the graveyard skeletons. We've got a pink, we've got an orange. I know Toy Bro's in the chat. He said that he would lose his mind if there was an orange skeleton. Well, consider your mind lost, Jared. We've got yellow, and of course, we couldn't do this without also doing the purple skeleton. These will be blind boxes, and these are tons and tons of fun. Eric, you have some in front of you there, and you've said that they're even more vibrant in person than we can see in these photos that Brad took.
Yeah, they're really quite vivid. It's definitely not showing as well on here either. But well, here I'll do it this one. What the heck is that? What the heck is that?
What are you trying for?
All right. I'm having problems here tonight. I must have hit a button when I was when I.
Oh, okay.
All right. But yeah, here we go.
Yeah, what a fun little group.
So yeah, I mean, these things, they're a lot of fun.
They are a lot of fun. So you got these 4 different colors that are available in the blind boxes. Let's talk through this a little bit about what you're going to get. I mean, first off, they're all the skeleton bodies, so you can mix and match these to make different colored skeletons. This is a fun little candy corn skeleton that, Trevor took these photos. A little fun candy corn skeleton. It's actually got a previous skeleton's head on there to create that white, orange, and yellow layout. So you can absolutely mix and match those. In addition to those 4 colors that are available, there's also a 5th color, which is a chase color. So this glossy black skeleton, that is going to be the chase color that's going to be available that you could pull if you are lucky. And he's really tough to see because he's got a glossiness to him. He almost looks like if you've got the Black Knight like Legion builder, he's got that kind of like shine to him.
Yeah, that's exactly what he looks like. It's really a nice gloss on it. So, these other ones are so matte in their finish that they catch the light a certain way, and then this one really shows the details off in a different way. It's honestly pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like it's
fun.
I think what I initially thought we would do for this, but when we saw the glossiness on this, we really liked it, and it was hard to say no at that point.
So blind box skeletons, you get pink, orange, yellow, or purple, or there's a black chase figure. Now there's a couple other things to reveal. First off, let's talk about the price. These are going to be available for $19.99, which is the lowest priced Legion figure that we've ever done. With these, they're just basic skeletons. Each skeleton comes with 1 set of extra hands. You could see that the shot here where they have that extra hands, they've got 2 sets of hands. So an expressive hand and a gripping hand, but we didn't want to outfit them with a bunch of extra stuff that is going to add to the cost. We stripped them down. We made them bare bones, if you pardon the pun, and we're going to offer them just for $19.99. People asking, what is the chance of getting the black one? It's actually pretty darn good. And we have a way that you can guarantee that you will get the black one. So if you buy them separately, you can buy as many as you want. They're $20 a box or $19.99. But we're also going to do something where if you buy a 12-pack of them, you're guaranteed not only to get all 4 of the standard colors, you're going to get multiples of those. You're guaranteed to get the Chase Black. And what we're going to do is we're going to pack it in a fun little, I guess what they call point of purchase packaging. Now, this is an artist render. This is a mock-up. It's not going to look exactly like this, but when you go to, like card shops or, different collectible stores and you see these types of items on the counter, we love the fact that they come in their own special like boxes. So we said, you know what? It would be cool if we had a way. We've done 12 packs of figures in the past. Let's do something where if they buy the set of 12, they'll not only get the full assortment, but we're going to package them in this special point of purchase packaging that, usually the top is kind of like perforated and you can lift it up and all the cases will be in there and you get a really fun display item. I know what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my blind boxes to display them. And then I'm going to put the boxes right back in this like packaging to display it like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like this idea. I think, this is another opportunity for us to experiment a little bit and try something different. We've talked about doing we've talked about doing blind box before. We've talked about doing a really low priced item. I've always wanted to do one of these point of purchase counter display type setups. Like I have fond memories of, as a kid seeing the boxed Mego figures in these type of displays. All the way up through blind boxes in, comic shops and things like that. So, again, this is an opportunity for us to try something a little different, see if people like it, don't like it. But I think Graveyard allows us the opportunity to play a little bit and, yep. It's not a Legion's, piece. So, as far as, your completists or whatever, you got a little leeway there. So again, it's just, it allows us to try something a little different. And, I think this box, like, I agree with you completely. Like, I love the idea of opening them up and then setting that display up again.
Yep. So I do have a couple questions here. Someone's asking, does a case guarantee a chase? Absolutely. The chase is 1 in 12. So it's not one of these where like the black is 1 in 100 or some crazy number like that. Every single case will have a chase in it. So it's going to be 1 in 12. So the black one is still not going to be terribly difficult to get. And certainly if you buy that case of 12, you're guaranteed to get one of those black skeletons in there. Even just looking at the chat here, it's blind boxes are always one of those things where either people love them or they hate them. Either they love the idea of the mystery of, I don't know what I'm going to get, or they just want to buy it. At the end of the day, we think this was fun. We're trying to make it so there's definitely a way that you can get the ones you want. And this is an amazing community. We see people trading stuff all the time. This is also going to be an opportunity where people that, may buy a case or whatever and want more of one color than another, they're going to trade within this amazing community.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, the Legion's community is a great place to introduce blind box, I think, over other collecting communities for sure. yeah, I see that, the type of just like generosity and camaraderie that there is. And I think, I could see people getting together at shows and having skeleton swaps. And yeah, I get like the whole thing with blind boxes being kind of a love or hate sort of a thing. Cause my kids have grown up buying blind boxes, and opening a blind box can either be the happiest day of their life or the worst day of their life, depending on how it works. And so I do appreciate the ability to buy a case and get a guarantee, because I've bought plenty of cases over the years with no guarantee and no chase at the end of the purchase. So but I'm hoping that the overall reaction to this is going to be people enjoy the experience and the hunt and the trade and all of it.
Someone's asking, in the box set, since it has the black, what color will be missing, or will it be 12 random? One of the colors will be missing. So basically across 4 boxes, there will be one black in each, and each of those boxes will have one will have one less pink, one less orange, one less yellow, and one less purple. So the 4 standard colors, for lack of a better term, those are going to be made in equal numbers. The black will be 1 in 12, but across when you open a case, the one that you are missing is going to be a random one of the 4. So in a case of 12, you should get 3 of 3 colors, 2 of another, and then the 1 black. Will White's asking, will retailers get these? These will not be at retailers. These will only be through Four Horsemen Studios. We do plan to make a few extras to bring to shows in the future, but these are only available through Store Horsemen, basically because of that price. We really wanted to have this low-priced item, this $19.99 item. We didn't, just the way that everything works. For us to be able to sell it to retailers, they have to be able to mark it up. We have to sell it for a certain amount. We didn't want this to have to get marked up to a higher price. For us, this was all about having fun and having that sub $20 item that people could enjoy. So this will be available only through Store Horsemen. Yes, the 12 pack is there's no discount on the 12 pack. You're just getting 12 of them. The advantage of the 12 pack is the guarantee assortment and that fun display box. Yeah, and someone's saying, I bet those soft goods will fit on a skeleton really well. Absolutely. I like how you're thinking there. Another gentleman named Jeremy dropping that comment. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I don't think we haven't done that in the studio yet, or at least not that I'm aware of. I want to do that immediately.
Deck it all out in those soft goods. Absolutely. Will the death metal shirt fit on a 1.0 body? Probably not. I mean, it's stretchy material, so you might be able to stretch it, but it's made for 2.0. It'll definitely be tight on a 1.0.
Yeah, I mean, considering that we've had the 1.0 shirts around Legion's Con and stuff like that. This is, I'm looking at this here. This is a substantially smaller shirt.
For sure. So once again, that's a mock-up of what we call the point of purchase case for the Graveyard Skeleton 12 packs are going to be. And then to really kind of lay it all out, this is what we've got coming for the Graveyard this year. So we've got the Graveyard Zombies that we presented at the start of the show. That's the Worker Zombie and the Rocker Zombie, along with the Graveyard Gear soft good packs. Those are going to be available from both retailers and from Store Horsemen. Obviously, if you get it from Store Horsemen, you get that pre-order discount. The blind box skeletons, those are only going to be available from Store Horsemen. So those are not available from our retailers.
Yeah,
Fun.
that's
I like seeing them all laid out here. Like they were, it's funny that they're very different. You know, the blind box skeletons are just oozing with silliness. Even Trevor's shot of them kind of dancing here. Whereas the zombies have a much more, serious, gruesome look to it. But putting them all together, it's just tons of fun to see this set as a group.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of items that kind of blur the line between something that goes in your action figure collection or something that comes out for the holidays.
Yeah.
And looking at this certainly is 100% in that zone. If you wanted to you keep these around all year, they're perfectly appropriate. Or it could be something that you could really enjoy packing away every year and pulling them out early fall and putting them on your Halloween display.
And we should say that, those colored skeletons, I mean, that is something that we've wanted to do since the very beginning. I mean, we've done colored skeletons. We've done Clavian and Celtis and Scaphoid. We just a couple weeks ago, we're looking at a new Scaphoid. So the idea of those colored skeletons is not new to Four Horsemen Studios, but wanting to do these kind of just more fun Halloween colors, this is absolutely something that's been high on the to-do list for a while.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that, the yellow or the pink, like especially not even just yellow or pink in particular, but these fluorescent shades of them. They're bright and really just outside of what we would normally do and what would look, what we would consider proper in Mythic. It's just another case of where this is an opportunity to do something out of the normal, out of the normal parameters.
Yep.
Because they are fluorescent. It's kind of somewhere in between like pastel and fluorescent. Like they're, very, very bright.
So we do have some questions here. Someone asking whether it's a color mold or if it's painted. So these are painted. It is tough to see in the photos, but these are not just a single color with no lick of paint on it. There is, I don't know, is it a wash? But there is definitely some paint on these to give them more depth than you would see with just a flat, like cast in that color type figure.
I think in this case it's more of like an airbrush. It's a spray. But I don't know if this is what just in case this is what the question meant. The color of the base color is painted as well. So and that's what gives them either the really nice, like really matte finish on the more colorful ones, or the high gloss on the black one.
Yep. Someone was asking if these affect New York Comic Con. So I don't know what that means, but so New York Comic Con, one of our retailers, Bits and Buttons from down in Florida, they are setting up at New York Comic Con this weekend. We will not be attending as a studio, but they are there kind of by proxy. We're there by proxy through them. They're going to be selling a lot of Legion's products there. And actually, you know what? I was talking to him before the show, and he had actually asked me to share the booth number. So I'm going to mention that right here. So they are at booth number 3472. 3472 is Bits and Buttons. They will be there with some Legion's products. This doesn't impact New York Comic Con at all because this is a pre-order. So this is going to go up for pre-order on Friday. The two are completely separate. Someone was asking if the zombies match the undead builder pack, which they do not. They don't match the other zombie colors. I mean, very intentionally, we wanted this to be different. We didn't just want to put out more of the same color.
Yeah.
Van Johnson asking what the individual boxes look like. So we haven't designed the boxes yet, but they're going to be small. They're not going to be like standard Legions packages, because these are just a skeleton body and an extra set of hands. These are going to be closer to, if anyone collects Chris's D13 Biblical Adventures line, his bear bucks, that his base bodies that he has that come in those really slim boxes. These are going to be packaged in something similar to that. That's the plan. And against my better judgment, speaking of Chris, he is in the chat saying, stay tuned for talking conversations after this broadcast, which the fact that he's in the chat commenting means there's a chance that they're actually watching the show tonight. So maybe they'll actually talk about the stuff we talked about on Mythic Conversations, on Talking Conversations. One can hope.
Fingers crossed.
So I'm just looking through the comments now. That is, for real now, that's all we have to present. These are the figures that will be available as part of this graveyard drop. Once again, this ends at midnight on Halloween. Let's see. What's the ETA on these? So these will be early next year. Our hope with these is similar to what we did with the graveyard skeletons. We'll be able, there's no new tooling in these, so we should be able to get these in the production queue fairly quickly. These should hopefully deliver in early 2026. I would say sometime in early Q2 is what we'd be looking at. No, Tom, they will not be in coffins. They will be in boxes. Everyone's asking us to make them coffins. Literally all the comments are to make the boxes look like little caskets.
I've been watching.
We'll take it under advisement.
Yeah. You know what? Chris is in the chat. How doable is it, Chris?
Well, Chris is saying don't get your hopes up, Jeremy. So I don't know what he was. Oh, that was probably me suggesting they were watching the show.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So any other thoughts that you have on these, Eric, as I go through the comments? Anything that we didn't cover in clear enough detail?
I mean, I think we covered it pretty well. I mean, I'm personally excited about these. I've always been a big fan of doing the skeletons in as many colors as possible.
Yes.
I was a huge Castlevania player, my entire life. I feel like at this point, and they had the red skeletons in there and the green skeletons and all these different skeleton types. And I just always liked that idea of almost kind of color coding the skeletons for their abilities. And also just like breaking up the bone, just the bone color on every single skeleton. It's just another way to, to present these guys. These are colors that we wouldn't normally do in one of our existing lines. So, I'm pumped to get these and, put them up on the Halloween shelf.
I'm pumped because, like I said earlier, it's new stuff. We're so dialed in right now with Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions. I mean, behind the scenes, we're working diligently right now, getting ready for our G-Con presentation and our new wave reveal at G-Con. And so we're really dialed into that. But with so much of that stuff coming out, and even with Figure Obscura, that's one of the things I'm really loving personally about what we're doing is the variety of releases, the variety of ideas. I think not only does it keep it interesting and fresh for the fan base, it keeps it interesting and fresh for us, to be able to explore different things like this and have, different aspects of my collection that are filled by Four Horsemen Studios. I'm very clearly biased, but I think we put out some of the best toys on the market. So to be able to have different aspects of my collection now provided by Four Horsemen, I think is very exciting. Look, guys, I'm still a super fan. I'm still as excited to get these things in my collection back there as I am to present them to you. So from that aspect, I think these are a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I mean, that's for us. We have, lots of interests, lots of subject matter that excites us, inspires us. So, anyway, there's a door that opens up to allow us to get into something that we normally wouldn't get into. And even if it's something like this, where, this isn't really, I wouldn't say it's like a full line. It's something we, second year now that we're, visiting in in October. It just lets us scratch the surface a little bit, and people like it. We can come back and becomes a bit of a tradition. But I like the idea of being able to go in these different directions. And again, I've said it a few times, but try something new. And it may be something that really clicks with people.
Joe's in the chat, Joe Vassapolo, that is. And actually, so is CJ. But Joe pointing out, nice work again, CJ and team. Yeah, we mentioned, their team's work on those zombies earlier, but it certainly bears repeating, these, to be able to execute these very modern looking zombies with our library of non-modern parts is very much a testament to, their work and what they bring to the team here as well. Because again, those absolutely nail the look we were going for, and it's carried by those soft goods.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think kind of the same way, we're enjoying going in a different direction and doing something that we wouldn't normally be able to do from a sculpting or painting end or whatever. It's a lot of fun, I think, for us, and I know it certainly is for me, to see them do something out of the box, that we've been doing over the years, tunics and capes, the certain genre of soft goods we've seen with Mythic over the years. And then it was really cool when we got to Cosmic to see them branch out into, doing sci-fi soft goods. And then now this is just another facet. And just, great to see them, flex their muscle with the modern, the modern soft goods.
Yeah. Credit where credit's due. I had mentioned earlier that Eric Miller painted the worker zombie. As is typical with us, Sherry painted the rocker zombie. She's so dialed in with the Legion's ladies that whenever we're going to do a female character, we know she's going to absolutely love doing it. So that's her handiwork we've got here.
Yeah. Yeah,
so I do have a couple. Yeah, and I have a couple other questions here. So this is an easy one. Can we expect one more Legions Con exclusive reveal within the next couple weeks? No, there is not. We've now revealed all of the figures that are going to be as Legions Con exclusives. The Tale of the Crossroads figures and the Legacies of Mythos Wave 2, Scaphoid and Valgard. Those are the ones that are going to be available from Legions Con. Someone's saying that this is a fun concept. Would these technically fall under the Figura Obscura category? And I think that's an interesting question, Eric, because early on when we introduced Figura, people were asking us like, oh, will you do a ghost? Will you do a zombie? Will you do a leprechaun or whatever? And I remember, like, for instance, the leprechaun, I said, I think we're more likely to see a leprechaun in Mythic Legions than in Figura Obscura, because other than the horror movie Leprechaun and Lucky from Lucky Charms, there's really no like popular named leprechaun. And that's what Figure Obscura is about. It's not about making an archetype of something. It's about making a specific character for mythology or literature or something like that. But that's where Graveyard, I think, is great because it's the exact opposite. It is about making these archetypal characters. It is about making the generic zombies or skeletons or what have you. So it's not going to fall under Figure Obscura, but I think that's part of what makes Graveyard fun, and it's part of the strength that we have as a 1-2 punch with Figure.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain character types, things that we've discussed for Figura, and really dug into the research and tried to find the angle, I guess, for lack of a better word, on how to make this particular character type fit into Figura, and it didn't really work. But Graveyard opens the door up in a way that, in my mind, just makes it a slam dunk. Like, it's because we get to do it exactly the way that we want to do it. And I'll give you, like, I like giving specific examples when I can. And I'm not saying this is happening, but it's a good example just to kind of point out, and at least from our thought process, what the difference is. We did Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. Frankenstein very much follows the book, the description in the book. Yellow skin, the black stringy hair, lanky proportions, even just like the level of suturing or the lack of bolts in the neck, or whatever, like any of that. Yep. We were being true to the book. But there are a lot of ways to interpret Frankenstein. Like, if we ever wanted to do a different take on Frankenstein, this line would, in Frankenstein's creature, I'm calling him Frankenstein, but you know what I'm talking about. It would allow us to explore something like that. And it's not, it's not in the plans right now. It's not something, it's something I don't think we would do for a bit, just since we did Frankenstein's creature recently. But it's just a good way of looking at what the two approaches could be on this. I mean, realistically, there may be some sort of a zombie scenario that would fit into Figura, but this was exciting to us to do now, and this I think what more people are going to be attracted to and relate to from a zombie standpoint.
Yeah. One thing I will caution you, Eric, is when we have these conversations and we talk about potential ideas, people think that we're just constantly dropping hints, and then we see comments like "Graveyard Leprechauns confirmed." So there we go. A couple other questions here. How did we choose the skeleton colors? Any meaning? I mean, I don't know if there's any meaning. We wanted Halloween-y type colors. Like, we wanted these to be fun and very much colors that you wouldn't see in like the Mythic line per se.
Yeah, I mean that's what because we mentioned Scaphoid. We have a green skeleton. A Clavium, we have a red. With Celtis, we have a blue. So it kind of started getting into what if we're hitting the colors that we haven't really done yet. What what's going to make sense here, and this is what what we came up with. It's not to say that in the future, like there's different shades of any of these colors, different levels of washes or whatever. So I mean, it's not to say that one of these colors might not come back again in another way, but as far as not, not repeating ourselves at this point and bring something new to the table, these were all colors that we could bring that we just haven't addressed yet.
These are as successful as we hope they'll be. Hey, who knows? Maybe we'll see other colors in the future.
Fair point.
Question asking me if the Red Death arms work on the females. They do not. So the female body, the Rocker Zombie, is our 2.0 body, where the Red Death arms are exactly what come on the Worker Zombie. That's a 1.0 body. So those will not be compatible right out of the box. Someone else saying, I passed on last Graveyard Skellies, but this is making me want those now. So we are sold out of them online at Store Horseman. We reserved literally just a couple cases to have at Legion's Con, and they might not make it out of Legion's Con, to be honest with you. We have so few left. But the good news is I do know that they are available from some of our retailer partners. So if you still wanted last year's set, they are $99 for the 4 Graveyard Skeletons. Those are available from the retailers. Of course, these Graveyard Skeletons, the blind boxes, those will be at Store Horseman only. So with that, Eric, like I said, we've got the dates up there. We're really marching forward now. It's going to be just over a month, just about a month, actually, a little under a month, and it's going to be Mythic Week. I did an interview on Brick Something on Sunday where I talked about how this is the busiest time of year for us in many, many ways, the most stressful, but also the most exciting. People joke around whenever I talk about the new wave. There's kind of a funny little thing where they're like, oh, Jeremy, is it the best wave we've ever done? Because every single wave we put out, my enthusiasm gets the best of me, and I refer to it as the coolest wave of Legions we've ever done. But dare I say, this is the coolest wave of Legions I think we've ever done. It's definitely up there. I'm really, really excited to be able to reveal this stuff at G-Con in a few weeks.
I am too. I don't even. I'm trying to watch my words here to not say anything that I shouldn't. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. I think we're bringing some new things to the table. I think the figures are turning out better than I think I even expected them to. Yeah, I don't want to. Like, I'm going to get myself in trouble here.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I am very excited to bring this one to the show and reveal it.
Yeah,
I do think there's some really good stuff here.
Well, what we will tell people is, if you are not traveling to New Jersey for Mythic Week, first off, we hope you're traveling to New Jersey to spend the weekend with us. It's going to be an absolute blast. The reveals, the way that we do it these days is, while Legion's Con is technically the Saturday and the Sunday, which is November 8th and 9th, the day before that, on the Friday, which is November 7th, of course, we do this live stream reveal. And for the last few years, we've actually done it at the Legion's Con Hotel. So it's at the Hanover Marriott in Whippany, New Jersey. And we do it in front of a live audience. It is open to Legion's Con attendees, to the public. The way it works is those lucky individuals that were selected to be part of Intern for a Day, they're allowed in first. They get first crack at the seating, but then we open it up to everybody else. Last year, it was standing room only. When we started, there were no seats available. And then throughout the presentation, people kind of come and go because it is a 5-hour presentation. So while there are some true warriors that sit through the entire 5 hours, there's others that come and go. But that is going to be available at the Hanover Marriott if you are there. If you're not traveling to New Jersey, it's a live stream. So you can tune in literally right here on the Four Horsemen YouTube channel. It's going to start at 10 a.m. that Friday morning. And we will, once again, like we've done in past years, we will reveal the new wave of Legions that's debuting at Legions Con. The pre-order will start later that day. And again, if you're at Legions Con, not only will you have the ability to be in the room and see these items first, but we always put them on display in the hallways for people to see. So you really do get an up-close look at all of those prototypes throughout the weekend. So it's a very cool kind of level of access to this new wave of figures. So yeah, I'm excited. We're not giving anything away. We're not going to give you any other teasers, but we're going to say that, get ready, set your calendars, hopefully join us in New Jersey, because we're looking forward to seeing you all again for another Mythic week.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's getting to that point where we're getting close enough. Like, my head is, I find my mind drifting to thinking about the show and, just kind of like, oh, this person's going to be out. This person's going to be out. So like, it really is like, it's like a holiday is getting closer and closer. And, the excitement's starting to kick in. It is. A lot of preparation for that holiday, but, well worth it when the time comes.
All right. So with that, once again, blind box skeletons and graveyard zombies available from storehorseman.com starting this Friday, the 10th at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Pre-order ends at midnight on Halloween. The graveyard zombies and the soft good packs will also be available during that same period from our worldwide retail partners. People questioning this t-shirt. This is the Four Horsemen Studios death metal logo. It is actually the shirt that the female rocker zombie is wearing. That is going to be available in just a few minutes, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's available at retroraglimited.com, or if you go to Store Horseman and click that apparel button up there, it's available right through there. One last thing that I forgot to mention, Eric, is even though this is a pre-order that's going to be delivered in early 2026, we did want to do one additional other cool thing for the fans. We got the price on those blind boxes to $19.99 each. We're going to offer the pre-order discount on those zombies at $42 each. We're also going to allow all of these to qualify for the flat rate $10 shipping in the US. So you can literally add as many blind boxes as you want. You can add the 12-pack cases. You can add zombies. Load up that cart. It'll all ship for $10 in the US. Because these are pre-order items, you cannot combine them with in-stock items to ship them together. But certainly there's a lot of fun stuff in this offering here, this pre-order for the graveyard. So we wanted to make sure that you could build your zombie horde, or you could add some color to your crypt with these skeletons and ship it all for one low price. And I think that is literally everything I had to present tonight.
Not one more thing, huh?
Not one more thing. That is literally everything I have. So we're going to thank all of you for joining us this evening. Eric, as always, thank you for being here, for being a part of this. I will see you in New Jersey in a month for G-Con, and I'll see all of you here next week for another conversation. Stay tuned for Talking Conversations directly after this. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.